Okay, so how y'all doing, guys? Today I'm gonna teach you all how to use the Newton plugin on After Effects. I'm gonna show you all how to do the gravity falling effect and how to do like the pop in fill effect. I don't really know what's it called, but it's pretty popular in the community and in edits and shit. And just to say, like, I've literally learned how to do these like 2 days ago, but I just thought that I could just make this whole video, and instead of you all jumping between like few different tutorials to like learn some stuff here and there, I could just like explain a lot of stuff here, and also how to deal with like some annoying stuff that I was facing. As example, like what to do if you don't have like a shape layer and you just see like a whole big solid over the screen in Newton. Okay, so for the first scene, we're gonna start with like the most simple example first. We're gonna start with like the classic gravity falling effect that you see editors do on like text or on like objects or like some stuff like this. So first you need to have like your text or shape layers or whatever you're trying to use Newton on. So as you can see right here, I have like my little text. Basically what I did, that I separated the letters letter by letter, and then I used the TrackMate to apply the America flag texture. And pretty much I have 8 separate layers that I'm gonna make them fall. You can do this with like as I said, images. You can do this with shape layers, but if you're gonna do them with anything other than shape layers, there is like a different approach that we're gonna use for that, because basically as you can see right here, if I go to composition and I click on Newton 4, you will see that Newton is treating the letters like a whole box over the whole screen, and pretty much that's because it's pre-comped. And even if it's not pre-comped, as long as the comp is not the size of the letter, it's taking the whole screen, so it's gonna treat like the letter with the size of the whole screen. So if you are working with shape layers, you won't face any problems. Like if you have like bunch of squares and then you go to composition and open Newton 4, you will see that we have like 2 shape layers here. We don't have anything that takes the whole comp. So basically I'm going to show you how to fix this issue if you are using an image, or if you are using like a text like me. I'm pretty sure that if you are using a normal text without any like textures applied or anything applied on them, there is a script or a plugin that will turn the text layer into shape layer. I will leave the name of the script in the description if I don't forget. But if you have a texture like me on, or if you have an image that you want to like drop, so I'm gonna show you my method that I did to fix it. Basically you're gonna go here to the letter, and then you're gonna zoom in and make sure to make the quality on full. Basically what we're gonna do, that we're gonna make like a rough mask around the text. So I'm just gonna go right here and make like a little rough mask. As you can see, it doesn't need to be perfect at all, and it doesn't need to be like fully masking. As you can see, like my lines are not even like touching the letter. Just gonna keep going like this, and it should look like something like this. It doesn't need to be perfect at all. And same as here for the M, I don't even have to like mask these parts. I don't have to do this. I can just skip and go to the end, because normally when the letter will drop, it will, like this, we won't interact with anything most of the time. For here, you can do like a little bit mask here, because maybe the A will drop and get inside of the middle part here. So here you can do something like this, and then you will do the same thing for the rest of the letters. I don't really know if there's another method for doing this, but this was my method. And now when we open Newton, we're gonna see that the letters are there. As you can see, they don't look perfect, but as you can see, there is no huge solid that is taking like the whole comp, like the whole screen. So the first thing we're gonna do, that we're gonna come down here and click on this, and basically this is like the ground that the objects will fall on. So if you don't have this right here, the text will just fall, and then it won't like hit the ground and then bounce off the ground. And then also you could add these two. You can click on these two. These are walls also, just in case if you have like a lot of objects and you want them to like fill the place or hit the walls and bounce off the wall. And then what we're gonna do right now, though, we're gonna move the letters a little bit. You're gonna like move them a little bit here, a little bit there, and you don't need to move them, but this like looks more realistic and more unique to have them like randomized like this. So you can have them something like this, and even if you want, you can put them all the way up. It will be even better. And then if like the distance is too high, you can just time remap and add posterized time, but it's up to you honestly. And also you could do a little something. You could select all of the objects that you have, and you can click on right click and click on randomizer. And randomizer is a really unique feature on Newton, because basically I could come here to rotation. I could put the minimum value here to -20. You could go higher if you want, like, or lower, like -10, -30, -40, and then the maximum value is gonna be 20. So what is this gonna do? That is gonna randomize the rotation of all of the letters or objects or images that you have. It's gonna randomize them from between -20 to 20. So if I click OK right now, as you can see, all of them are slightly rotated. I don't want them to be interacted like this though, so I'm just gonna move them a little bit. You can do the same thing if it happens to you. And then there's a whole lot of bunch of other stuff that you can do with the randomizer that I will be explaining in the second example. But pretty much once you have this look right here, you can just come here and play and see the result for yourself. And then as you can see, everything falls nicely. It goes around the place. It looks pretty cool. And then as you can see here, they fall on top of each other. You can also do something. You can come here and select all of them. And if by any chance they are not bouncy enough for you, or if they are like over bouncy, you can come here to bounciness and you can either increase or decrease the bounciness. But make sure if you're gonna increase it, just increase it by like 1, like increase it by very low values like 0.4. And then as you can see, this is how it looks right now. If it's too bouncy, you could go like 0.2, just a little bit lower. And then as you can see, this is how it looks. You can play around with like the friction, and you can play around with some other settings to discover some stuff and unlock some like unique results if you want. But always like keep your low key with the values, because like if you put it too much, if I put the bounciness at 2 and then I play, everything will just start flying around. And it's gonna be the same thing with all the values. If you put like too much, everything is gonna look off. And once you are satisfied with the result, you can come here and click render. Normally this will be like 250 frames, but you don't need that much. For me, I made it 99, and just hit on render. And when you hit on render and then go to your project, you will see that a new pre-comp has been made, and it will be called sim. And then you can just drag this here, and as you can see, this is how it looks. I would say this looks pretty insane, especially that this letter here like fall on top of the eye and then it falls on its own, and the end is bouncing, they fall on top of each other. I would say that this is a pretty perfect result for me. But if you don't like the result, you can just go back and then like tweak the letters placements a little bit, and you can add parse time if you want, but don't make it like too low. You can go for something like 15 and then play it, and as you can see, it look like kind of nice. If like your whole sequence on the edit is going with like the parse time theme kinda, and everything is slow on that one scene, you can just add parse time and make this fit in. And if the fall is like too fast for you, you can enable time remap. You can like move just a tiny little bit. As you can see, they fall like kind of a little bit faster. You can make it even more faster and then have post time at the start and then have it like this. If you want to make these letters fall on something, like as example, if this is like an enemy scene, this is like a window or something, and you want the objects to fall on top of the window or the character or whatever. So what you can do here, that I'm gonna put the shape layer right here, and then I'm gonna reopen Newton, and then basically what I gotta do right here, I'm gonna click on this shape layer or whatever this is. You will come here and click on the shape layer or whatever you have as I said, and go to type and make it static. And as you can see now, it have the same outline as like the ground and the wall. And what does this do? That if I play right now, they're gonna bounce off the box, and you can have as many as you want. I can put like a little box here that they will fall on and then fall also on the ground, and I can put like you can like do a lot of things if you like get creative with it. So I would say that we're pretty much done with the first example. It's pretty basic and pretty simple and easy to do, very like beginner friendly if you want to get into like these type I would say motion graphics type of stuff. For the next scene, we're gonna be doing I honestly don't know what is this exactly called. I think it's called like pop in something, pop in fill something, pop in, it's called something have to do with that, but I'm pretty sure you've seen it all over like some people edits and shit. It's kind of popular. I've seen it multiple times, so you can easily get like these type texts or type of stuff from Pinterest or Google or anywhere. We could come here to Pinterest, and then I think we can type like sticker pop in, something like this, and you can use these also. Like you can mask this and use it just like the reference. You can use this emoji, you can use this sticker, you can use this pop text, and you can come here, grab this and change this on After Effects. It's the same as this. Like you can really get creative with it. You can make this pop effect with anything, like any image, any text, anything that you want. But I would say that Pinterest is like a really good place to like find some cool stuff. And in editing in general, Pinterest is like a very great inspiration for almost everyone that edits. Like you can always like just be scrolling Pinterest and then get ideas. Like as example, I can just make iOS theme edit and make everything pop, make this pop in the box, like make this pop in the box without like touching anything else, make this static and make the letters fall on like you can just get creative. You can make these like letters here fall on this and fall here on this. You can make the reply text here and copy fall on top of this line without, like you can always just look and get ideas and try to like think of stuff from Pinterest. Anyway, just have whatever you want. I'm gonna pre-comp this right here. And by the way, the font that I used for the first text and for this pop sticker thingy is called Milker. It's a pretty cool font. We're gonna open the comp settings, and you gotta make sure that you at least have like 2 seconds or 3 seconds duration, because 1 second is really not enough. So I would honestly do 3 seconds, but always like have a lot of room, because even if the simulation takes up the whole comp, you will either cut it or either posterize it and time remap it, or you will do something with it. But it's better than the simulation being short and then you can't really do anything. You will just have to redo it. If you have the image, you will just extend it. If you don't, you will just go on time and click on freeze time and drag it all the way to the end and pre-comp it. And basically you will also have to do a rough mask on whatever you are doing. If you are using like an image from Pinterest or anything like that, you will have to do obviously a mask regardless, so you will be good. For this pop effect though, your mask will need to be like perfect, so like you can't really do that rough of a mask like we did on the text. So you will have to lock in a little bit, but I mean masking one frame is like nothing. You can just come here and hold down the left click to have this curve thingy, and just really like, it doesn't need to be super perfect. So I would say that this mask is pretty decent. It's pretty good. And what you're gonna do right now, that you're gonna duplicate your image or whatever you have, you're gonna duplicate it like 50 times or 100 times. So as you can see, I have like 7. I'm gonna select all of the 7 and I'm gonna click Control D. I'm gonna select all of the 14, then I'm gonna click Control D. I'm gonna select all of the 28, click Control D. Actually, I don't want to have 100 because 100 is way too much, especially also for this resolution. So here I have 56. I can just like have maybe 15 more. And let me delete this so it's 70 because 71 sound weird. Okay, right here I have 70. And what we're gonna do right now, that we're gonna move the layers, like we're gonna randomize the layers. I'm pretty sure also there's a script that does this for you, and instead of doing them like one by one, because obviously it will take time to do this for 70 layers. If I find the name and I don't forget, I will leave the name of the script in the description, along with the other script that turn text layers into shape layers. So basically what I did, that I was like really fast. I was just like moving them randomly, like very fast. Going here, just like moving them, just like clicking left click and moving my mouse like to anywhere, because obviously 70 layers is like a lot. So I'm pretty sure it needs to be like unique, but I really don't give a fuck. Like it's already too many layers to be moving and like taken care of. You can just use the script. I'm pretty sure like 100% that there's a script that does this. If I forget to leave it in the description, just remind me in the comments and I will look for it and leave the name of it in the description. If you also have any like tips on Newton in general or on this like type of stuff, you can leave all of them in the description. You can leave all of them in the comments, not the description, in case people like look at the comments and then they will like you know, use these stuff. And I would say that this is pretty decent. It's a little bit like repetitive, but if you are using the script, or if you are not doing it as quickly as I'm doing, you can have like a more unique layering, I would say. And then now we're gonna hop on Newton again. Okay, so what you're gonna do right here, that as you can see, all of them are in the middle, like stacked in the middle. So you're gonna highlight all of them like this, and here we're gonna use the randomizer. So for the main value, you can keep both of them on 0, because we don't obviously want them to be on negative. Negative will like flip it horizontally. Basically what we need to achieve with the randomizer, then we need like most of them to be like in the middle or like next to each other in a circle like this in the middle. So you could keep playing with the values, because obviously the values will depend on your comp setting size and how many objects you have and what is the shape of the object, and it's going to depend on a lot of things. But in general, what you need to have, that you need to have all of them in a circle in the middle like this. And we're gonna click here to make a ground and make walls, and you can make a top just in case if you have like way too many objects and they're gonna get on top of the screen, so they will have to hit the top. You're gonna come here and put the gravity magnitude on 0. We don't want any gravity. And come here to solver, and you're gonna put the substeps on 50. You're gonna select all of your objects, and you're gonna come here to friction and have the friction at 10. And also you're gonna click on here and have your walls friction on a high value. You could go for 50 or 60 or anything around that. And pretty much that's it. I don't know if this will be previewable, but I don't think that I can preview it. Let me just like straight render it, because that's pretty much it on how to do it. Okay, so here we go to the project tab again, and as you can see, you have like sim pre-comp, and this is pretty much how it looks. I don't know why is it bugged like this at the end, but I can just zoom it in like this to make it fill the screen, and I can just either redo the simulation or decrease the number of them a little bit, or play with the position, or play with like the values a little bit. But as you can see, this is like roughly how it looks. And also one more thing that you could do, that you can also use the rotation randomizer, and I advise you to use the rotation randomizer because it will look more unique. And pretty much that's it. I'm pretty sure there's a whole lot of other tricks that you could do with the Newton, but these are like the I would say these are like the most simple ones. Both of them are really easy and very beginner friendly. And to be honest, bro, as I said, these are the only two that I've learned. I fucking learned them like 2 days ago. But if this video does good, and if you guys like this video, I will try to like learn like more tricks and more stuff that could help you all. But yeah, this is like a simple short tutorial. Thank you all for watching, and yeah, that's it.